Mayor Michael, welcome back to Mayor's Monday again here. It's been a while since we've been down in Stevens Point, and a lot of stuff changing already. The flowers are in bloom outside the courthouse.
Yeah, a month ago we had snow.
Yeah, the smell of spring and summer is in the air around here, and of course that means it's time for people to get outside.
Yeah, it is, and there's so much going on in Stevens Point over the summer. We've had events already. We've kicked off our Levitt Music Series, which is every Thursday at Piffner Pioneer Park. We received a Levitt Music Grant from the Levitt Foundation to have live music. So for the next 8 weeks throughout the summer, we're going to be having live music not only on Thursdays through the Levitt Foundation, but our city band plays every Wednesday. And then we've already kicked off our Movies in the Park on Friday. And we have events going on almost every weekend down at Piffner Pioneer Park. The farmers market is in full swing, working very well. We picked up some asparagus and mushrooms there already this year, so things will only be progressing as we move forward there. People are using the Green Circle Trail. We have Walk Wisconsin was last weekend. We've got Special Olympics coming up this weekend. We had an air show last weekend. Just tons of events. Visit either the city website or the Stevens Point Area Convention and Visitors Bureau for a list of everything that's going on.
Well, and this is just on a personal note. You lost me at asparagus. I mean, if you want to eat weeds that are grown in somebody else's ditch, go right ahead. But I'm not going to. But just to hear farmers market like that. I mean, especially in a community like this where people nowadays they want to know where their food is grown. They want to connect with the producers, and that's something that I imagine is pretty popular down here in Stevens Point.
And it certainly is. And Farm Shed, one of the local businesses, nonprofits, actually is pretty big in that. Now, just a few weeks ago, they had their plant starter sale. So they have starter plants that they grow, and then you can go there and buy them. I know I've personally contributed to their record-setting year of selling plants. So I bought me tomatoes there, and we bought leeks, things like that. So you can still find them. They're getting harder and harder to find now because, of course, they're selling out of a lot of things. People are getting their gardens in, and it works out really well, especially having the farmers market here because Farm Shed is at the farmers market every Saturday, and they do chef demos. So not only do you know where your food is coming from, but they'll show you how to prepare your food. And Farm Shed also does a kind of a go-through for CSAs, for food shares. And they also do in fall, they'll show you how to can your product, how to preserve it, freeze it. They also have something called frozen assets, where they take excess produce, freeze it, and then you can actually buy homegrown produce that's already been frozen for you. So anybody's interested in finding out more about what to grow, how to grow, where to get your food from, or how to prepare your food, preserve it, contact Farm Shed.
Yeah, and so they're at the farmers market just about every weekend?
Every Saturday they have a booth there, the Farm Shed booth, so you can get more information there, or you can just Google it. They have a facility. It's our old Sorensen's greenhouse, for those locals who remember that. But right off of Center Point Drive, you can't miss it.
And where is the farmers market located then, and what are their hours typically?
Farmers market is the Matthias Mitchell Public Square, and typically that goes from about the middle of May till whenever harvest is done, sometime in, depending on weather, late October. Down on the Public Square every Saturday for sure. As the season progresses and more produce becomes available, you'll start seeing on Wednesdays and Sundays and almost every day of the week someone will be down there with something.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely great. I mean, I'm a farm boy myself. I can appreciate homegrown produce, and I'm sure there's a lot of people here in Stevens Point that will as well.
Right. Well, and not only do we have the farmers market, but part of that is also a public market where they have food vendors and coffee, locally roasted coffee, locally sourced food products, bakeries. They have chicken wings and bakery items down there. That's a big draw.
There we go. Chicken wings. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Great. Yeah.
Well, they're not just chicken wings. They're stuffed chicken wings.
Oh, wow.
So if you haven't had one, I would encourage you to come down on Saturday and try one. Lemongrass Noodle House was the original business, but they just have the food cart now, and they stuff chicken wings that are pretty popular. There's always a line.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely have to get in line one of these days. And great events like that, of course, it just brings people into town, and not only does it create a sense of community, but when you're bringing people into town as well and bringing in more money like that, it's just great for everybody in the city.
It is. And, people used to say that there's nothing to do in Stevens Point. And I have to tell them, if you don't think there's anything to do, you're living under a rock, because there is so much to do. There's not enough hours in the day to do it all. and most of it's free or very low cost. So you can enjoy yourself. Swing down to the farmer's market, look at the vegetables, take a walk around along the riverfront. The riverfront this time of year is great for sunsets. We have the Green Circle Trail that goes right along the river, and the sun comes right down over the river. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, definitely something to look forward to. And you talking about, the events that were like last weekend, like the air show, where you're bringing in people from all over Wisconsin, or with not only Wisconsin, actually. There was a squadron from my hometown near Sioux Falls, South Dakota that showed up as well. So Stevens Point really kind of becoming almost a regional hub, if you will, for entertainment.
We're certainly trying to diversify the living conditions. The sculpture park is always expanding. We've got 3 art galleries downtown: the Riverfront Arts Center, the Q Gallery, and Scarabokia Art Museum right downtown. We have occasional wine walks. I know the wine walk is coming up. The Downtown Business Association puts on wine walk. We have corn on the curb. There's always something going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and something that we've got it gives us a lot of stuff to talk about here on this program as well. I mean, as much as it's important for us to talk about things like road projects and other certain things that come up that seem like mundane city business. People need to know about that stuff too, but they also need to know about the fun stuff that they can do, the quality of life projects in the city.
Well, it's funny you mention that, because there are 2 seasons in Wisconsin, as you know. There's winter and construction, and we're full-blown into construction season now, so the crews are out busy patching the potholes that were created over winter. I'm told this is one of the worst years for potholes.
Oh, yes.
Because of the strange winter that we had. I mean, seriously, a month ago we had 2 feet of snow on the ground, and just last week we had 90-degree record-breaking temperatures inside a month. But so the crews are actively patching that, but we're also looking at construction season. So beginning June 7th, the intersection at North Point and Division is going to be closed for the entire summer. In conjunction with the new Century building that's going up there, we decided to put in some traffic control. So we're installing the city's first roundabout. That'll be done at that intersection over the course of summer to minimize the impact to the school. So that gets closed June 7th, and it will be closed for the entire summer. Traffic will be rerouted to the Stanley Street exit, which is Highway 66-ish. And there'll be some traffic signals up there. We're having the area well marked, so hopefully everybody will be able to find their way in for all of the events that are going on throughout the summer here in Stevens Point, including Special Olympics, which happens to be that weekend.
Yeah, and I know another part of this project that you were actually kind of excited about the last time we talked was you're going to have maybe a sculpture or some sort of welcome to Stevens Point right there in the middle of that roundabout. How are those discussions coming along?
Well, so we put that out for proposals, I guess is what we call it. So we asked area artists, what do you think would fit here? Give us an idea of what you could do and how much it would cost, and then we're going to have a committee review those and give us recommendations. I wanted to have something similar to the Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas sign. But they shot that idea down pretty quick. Apparently, neon is very hard to get.
Neon, yeah, I suppose, especially the different colors. I mean,
I even volunteered to throw on an Elvis jumpsuit and do a little promo video, but they didn't think that was very good either.
Oh man, what's his seen sometimes cannot be unseen. We'll just
you're probably right. But no, so we don't know what's going to go there yet, and we're always looking for ideas. So if anybody even has an idea, maybe it's not something you can do or submit, but if you have an idea of how to make that roundabout. It's really going to be the gateway to the city. So if you have an idea of something to put in there, or even on either side of the road, because we acquired some right-of-way there, contact my office, Wiza at stevenspoint.com, and I'd love to hear your ideas.
And this goes in and ties in with what we talked about last week with Derek Wollner up in Merrill. He says, when you walk around Merrill, you don't see a statue. You don't see something that says, "Hey, that is Merrill. That's us." Is this kind of one of those projects that you're looking for, where somebody can exit right there off of Interstate 39 and say, "This is Stevens Point. This is what we're all about"?
Well, I think it could be that. Stevens Point really does have a personality of its own already. I mean, the brewery's been here for over 160 years now, and people know the Green Circle Trail and Schmeekley Reserve and the university. So we've got a lot of identifying features. It certainly wouldn't hurt to have some more. Right. I don't know. Maybe we'll have some sort of fictitious animal or something. I don't know that that's the right way to go, but
just a pointer, right?
It's a pointer. Ooh, there you go. Now maybe we'll put a pointer on, and the pointer can point in the direction of whatever special events are going on that weekend.
There we go.
It'd be like a windmill.
Windmill. There we go.
Spinning around.
We'll talk with the university about that, and maybe we can get something on there too.
Let's see what we can do.
There we go. We're coming up with ideas.
I don't know. I thought the Elvis idea was pretty good.
That could work as well.
Speaking of that, I mentioned that the Point Brewery's been here for over 160 years. Stevens Point is going to be turning 160 years old this Thursday. I dug in the archives, and on June 7th, 1858, Stevens Point's charter became effective. So, in conjunction with the Levitt Music Series this Thursday at Piffner Pioneer Park, I've contacted all of the previous mayors who are still with us, and almost all of them are going to be there. So afterwards, first of all, the Portage County Historic Society is going to be there throughout the evening, and they'll have displays of the history of Stevens Point and the area, where Stevens Point got its name, a little bit about George Stevens, maybe some of the famous people that lived here. Peter Weller, who played RoboCop, is from Stevens Point.
Yes.
Kathy Kinney, who played Mimi Bobeck on the Drew Carey Show, is from Stevens Point. James Paris Lee, who invented the bolt action for the Lee Enfield rifle, lived in Stevens Point at a time. So we've got lots of famous people, and the new ones, Terry Porter, Susie Favor, but they're going to have a lot of the history there. And then afterwards, all of our previous mayors that are available to attend are going to serve cake for everybody. We've got some cake, so we invite people to come out. Point Brewery has partnered with us to provide some root beer, so it'll be a fun event. Come out and listen to the music, and maybe we'll do one big rendition of 26,000 people singing Happy Birthday.
Yeah, that'll be something right there. 160 years?
Yep, 160 years old.
So then how many...
we don't even look a day over 140.
Well, of course not. Just you said a lot of the former mayors are going to be coming back. Just exactly how hard or how much did it take to get everybody rounded up for that?
It wasn't as difficult as one might think. There's only about 5 former mayors, current former mayors that are available, and all but one was able to make it. The other one had a previous commitment, so we're certainly not going to hold that against them. But I'm hoping that they're all able to attend, and we'll be serving the public once again. So
yeah, that's it's going to be a great event, and just credit to you as well for being able to kind of look at that and say, wait a minute, this looks like a big deal, which it is.
It is, and it wasn't just me. I mean, our Parks Director Tom Schrader played a big role in that. We're going to have pictures on the cakes through the history of Stevens Point. And he coordinated with the brewery and, of course, the Historic Society. So a lot of people played their part.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations.
Which is synonymous, I suppose, with Stevens Point. Everybody plays a role here.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, like we've said on this show before, you don't get anything done in government by yourself. You've got to have a great team around you. And obviously to make it to 160 years like this and still be growing as well kind of says the teams that Stevens Point have had, not only now but decades prior.
Right. Yep. Yeah. It's been a great place, and it will continue to be a great place.
Well, is there anything else we should know then before we let you go get ready to start baking a cake over here? Or?
That's right. I'm going to personally bake the cake. No, I think we're good for now. Just keep in mind that there's always something to do here in Stevens Point. And if you ever have a question about it, look on our website, on the Convention and Visitors Bureau website, or even Create Portage County, which is pretty active in the arts and culture community. You go to their website or Facebook page, there's always something going on. My Facebook page, Mike Wiza, I try and let people know what's going on so they can see too. And if you have an event that you want to share, feel free to contact my office, 715-346-1570, and I'd be happy to look into it.
All right. Well, we appreciate the time here this week, and we'll look forward to doing it again next month.
Great. We'll see you next month.